again. Uh, I and Ma'am Mabit will be reporting to you. Actually, our original topic was RA number 8042, which is the Migrant Workers and Overseas Filipino Act of 1995. But it was amended, apparently amended by Republic Act number 182. So this is now the amended Migrant Workers and Overseas Filipino Act of 1995. The purpose of this law is to further improve the standard of protection and promotion of the welfare of migrant workers, their families, and the overseas Filipino industries. This was approved uh, on March 8, 2010, but this particular law was lapsed into law without the signature of the president. As we have studied that when a law was not signed by the president and it becomes, how many days is that? 30, 30 days? 30 days without the signature of the president, it will automatically becomes a law as long as it is not vetoed by the president. Under the Section 1 of Republic Act number. By the way, I will be discussing half of the sections here in the Republic Act number 102, and my partner would be discussing the other half. Section 1 of Republic Act number 102, the amended state policies from RA 84-6, Section 2. The state's paramount responsibilities, upholding dignity. That's the number one. The state shall at all times uphold the dignity of its citizens, whether in the country or overseas, particularly Filipino migrant workers. So the first policy of the state is that uh, it lays down the fundamental rights. Uh, it upholds the fundamental rights of Filipino migrant workers. Second one is the international engagement. It is the state's policy to continuously monitor international conventions, adopts or be signatory to to and ratify conventions that guarantee protection to migrant workers, endeavor to enter into bilateral agreements with countries hosting overseas Filipino workers. So, based on what we know, or based on general knowledge, almost not all of the countries, but almost all of the countries, maybe or apparently has some Filipino workers. And also, one of the state policy is access to justice. Free access to courts and quasi-judicial bodies and adequate legal assistance shall not be denied by reason of poverty. An effective mechanism must ensure the protection of distressed overseas Filipino workers, whether regular or documented or irregular undocumented workers. So one of our policy for migrant workers is that we or the state is giving these overseas Filipino workers free access to courts and other quasi-judicial bodies. They will not be denied only for the reason of being poor. Another State policy is empowerment through skills. So our government is providing or shall provide free and accessible skills development and enhancement programs, and also uh, soon as practicable, the government shall deploy and or allow the deployment only of skilled Filipino workers. So the government also, in its power, can send or may deploy uh, only skilled workers to their partner countries or our partner countries. Of course, one of the state policies is partnership. States shall cooperate with the term in a spirit of trust and mutual respect. The significant contribution of recruitment and manning agencies shall form part of this partnership. Uh, of course, we also have our recruitment uh, uh, and manning agencies that, aside from POA, there's lots of private, mga pribadong recruitment agencies. But there is there are laws that correspond to such operation. Uh, Under Section 2 of RA 122, the definition of overseas Filipino worker. So what is an overseas Filipino worker? Overseas Filipino worker refers to a person who is to be engaged, is engaged, or has been engaged in a remunerated activity in a state of which he or she is not a citizen. So when we say overseas Filipino workers, uh, those are our kababayans outside of the Philippines because not a citizen of a country that is engaging in or is engaged in any remunerated paid activity, may it be their professional capacity, being a doctor, dentist, engineer outside of the Philippines, or some laborers like nurse, I mean, the kasambahay in other countries, that could also be under the definition of overseas Filipino workers. The scope. This includes those on board a vessel navigating foreign seas other than government, military, non-commercial ships, or an installation located offshore or on the high seas. Kasama dito yung mga seaman natin. One of the uh, basic example of the scope is that yung mga seaman natin can also be coined under the definition of overseas Filipino workers. And this term, the overseas Filipino workers are also interchangeable with the term migrant workers or migrant workers. That is Section 2 of the Republic Act number 120. Section 3, deployment of migrant workers. This is from Section 4 of RA 8042. The deployment policy, the state allows deployment of overseas Filipino workers only in countries where their rights are protected. So the government first ensures that there are rights that governs the overseas Filipino workers. So paano ito uh, ginagawan ng assurance ng ating bansa is as we all know, we have yung mga ambassador natin sa iba't ibang bansa. They are the extension of our government sa ibang bansa. Also, guarantees from receiving country. Protection is guaranteed if the receiving country meets any of the following: has existing labor and social laws protecting workers, including migrant workers, is a signatory to and or ratifier of multilateral conventions, declarations, or resolutions related to workers' protection, has concluded a bilateral agreement or arrangement with the Philippine government on the protection of overseas Filipino workers. So, itong tatlong to ang pan, ang ating pamantayan ba tawag diyan? Yung yung basis natin for guaranteeing protection to our overseas Filipino workers. Itong tatlong to, the Philippines makes sure that the country we are sending our workers to is a signatory to or a ratifier of multilateral conventions, declarations, or resolutions. Also, it ensures or checks if it is concluded, it has concluded a bilateral agreement or arrangement with our government. Also, we have positive concrete measures. We have POE permit. We have certification. We have deployment to vessels, installations, deployment to international companies, contractors. And there are penalties for violation of such law. Section 4, termination or ban on deployment. Notwithstanding the general deployment provisions, the POE Governing Board, after consultation with the Department of Foreign Affairs, may at any time terminate or impose upon deployment of migrant workers for the reason that this action can be taken in pursuit of the national interest or when public welfare so requires. Ang termination natin for or ban sa deployment ng ating workers is governed by the POE in consultation with the Foreign Affairs, the Department of Foreign Affairs. Kasi may mga sitwasyon just like in any other studies we have na when the reason is due to public welfare or national interest, pag may mga ganyang sitwasyon, then the deployment may be terminated or banned. Kasi ano yan just like our right to travel, it's not absolute. We are regulated from traveling when there is public welfare, when there is national interest, when we are pursuing national interest or when there's when public welfare is required. On section 5, the definition of illegal recruitment. General definition of illegal recruitment is the general definition is that for purposes of this act, illegal recruitment shall mean any act of canvassing, enlisting, contracting, transporting, utilizing, hiring, or procuring workers and includes referring, contract services, promising, or advertising for employment abroad, whether for profit or not, when undertaken by a non-licensee or non-holder of authority contemplated under Article 13 of Presidential Decree Number 442, as amended, otherwise known as the Labor Code of the Philippines, provided that any such non-licensee or non-holder who is in any manner offer or promise for a fee employment abroad two or more persons shall be deemed engaged. It shall likewise include the following acts, whether committed by any person, whether a non-licensee non-holder or licensee or holder of authority. Number one, to charge or accept directly or indirectly any amount greater than that specified in the schedule of allowable fees prescribed by the Secretary of Labor and Employment, or to make a worker pay or acknowledge any amount greater than that actually received by his as a loan or advance. Number two, to furnish or publish any false notice or information or documentation in relation to recruitment or employment. Number three, to give any false notice, testimony, information, or document, or commit any act of misrepresentation for the purpose of securing a license or authority under the labor code, or for the purpose of documenting hired workers with the POAA, which include the act of reprocessing workers through a job order and pertains to non-existent work different from the actual overseas work, or work with a different employer, whether registered or not with the POAA. So madami ang definition natin ng illegal recruitment, ano. Uh, Lahat basically ng ginagawa ng tao as to canvassing, enlisting, contracting, transporting, utilizing, hiring, or procuring workers. Pag yan, yung mga yan nangyari without a permit or without authority from the government, then that's basically illegal recruitment. The presumption of a non-licensee or non-holder who offers or promises for a fee employment abroad, two or more persons deemed illegal recruitment. The acts constituting illegal recruitment by any person, licensee or non-licensee, charging or accepting fee, yung kaninang na-mention ko na, furnishing or publishing false notice, marami ito, giving false notice, introducing a worker to quit employment to offer for another, influencing persons, entities not to employ a worker, mga part nito ng mga illegal, engaging in recruitment for jobs harmful to public health, morality, or dignity of the Philippines. Isa din yan as a form of illegal recruitment. Obstructing or attempting to obstruct inspection by the Secretary of Labor and Employment or authorized representative. Ang dami, failing to submit required reports on employment status, substituting or altering approved verified contracts. An officer of an placement agency becoming an officer, a board member of travel agency, or being directly involved in travel agency management. So bawal din yung itong mga act na to, ano. Isa ka ng officer ng placement agency, magiging board ka pa ng travel agency. withholding or denying travel documents for monetary, financial reasons, or other unauthorized reasons. Failure to actually deploy a contracted workers without valid reason. Pag hindi mo sila naipadala sa kontrata nyo kung sa abroad nang walang uh, valid reason, it's still under the act of falls under the act legal recruitment. Allowing a non-Filipino citizen to head or manage a licensed recruitment manning agency. Bawal din yung alien na magmamanage ng licensed recruitment or money agency. Illegal recruitment by syndicate deemed committed if carried out by a group of 3 or more persons conspiring. When you define legal recruitment by syndicate, you must note that this must be carried out by a group of 3 or more persons conspiring. Pag dalawa lang, so you're not yet under the definitions of syndicate illegal recruitment. Illegal recruitment in large scale deemed committed if carried out against 3 or more persons individually or as a group. This is considered an offense involving economic sabotage. So ang large-scale illegal recruitment din naman, tatlo or mahigit pa. Pero pwedeng hindi sila grupo, pwede rin grupo. Individually or as a group. Additional prohibited acts. Granting a loan to an OFW with interest exceeding 8% per annum. Pagkano ba yung sa Bombay? 6% lang. So, pasok pa pasok pa yung Bombay dito. Hindi naman sila lumalo. sorry. Bombay pala. 8% per annum for placement fees and making the migrant workers issue a guarantee for said loan. Imposing a compulsory and exclusive arrangement for OFWs to avail of loans only from specifically designated institutions. So bawal mo panghimasukan ng OFW as to where or when he would acquire loans, ano? Hindi mo pwede siyang turuan kung sa land bank ba siya o sa BDO. O baka sa bangko ng tatay ng recruitment agency. Bawal din yan. According to Section 5 of the RA 122. Also, refusing to condone or renegotiate a loan if the employment contract is prematurely terminated through no fault of the workers. Pag walang kasalanan ang OFW na prematurely terminate ang kontrata niya, hindi mo pwedeng tanggihan yung renegotiation ng loan niya. Imposing a compulsory and exclusive arrangement for OFWs to undergo health examinations only from designated clinics, isa din to. Kasi in reality, nangyayari din ito eh. Kasi may mga clinic na affiliated sa mga recruitment agency. Pero it should be noted under this provision na prohibited din ang ganitong mga gawain ng ating recruitment agency or money agency. Kasi freedom choice to eh. Pakikialaman mo yung kung saan nila komportabling magpa-examine. As long as the results are valid and genuine, hindi na siguro, baka mas mura pa kasi yung napupuntahan nila eh, kaysa sa nadidesignate ng mga recruitment agency. Also, imposing a compulsory and exclusive arrangement for OFWs to undergo training, seminars, or schooling only from designated institution except for recommendatory trainings mandated by principals, ship owners who would shoulder the cost. Of course, kung ang magbabayad naman ng pa-training is yung amo or yung employer, siguro naman wala na sa labas na yung OFW natin to choose where or who to train with, ano, kasi nga on the premise that the ship owners or the principals would pay the cost of the training unless ang OFWs ang magbabayad, hindi mo pwedeng panghimasukan kung saan sila gustong mag-training or mag-schooling. Also, we have for suspended recruitment manning agency to engage in any recruitment activity, including processing pending application. Suspendido yung recruitment agency. Bawal na silang, syempre, it follows. Hindi na pwede yung mag-recruit pa sila, suspendido nga. For a recruitment and manning agency or foreign principal employer to pass on to the OFW or deduct from their salary the cost of insurance fees, premiums, and other insurance-related charges under compulsory workers' insurance coverage. Mataba itong Section 5, ano, kasi lahat ng mga pinagbabawal in terms sa illegal recruitment. Criminal liability. Siyempre, andyan yung principals, accomplice, and accessories are criminally liable. We heard this sa ating revised penal code. Principals, accomplice, and accessories are criminally liable. For judicial persons, juridical persons, officers with ownership, control, management, or direction responsible for the offense, and responsible employees, agents are also liable. Initiation of cases, the Secretary of Labor and Employment, the representatives, or any aggrieved person may initiate criminal action. Affidavits, testimonies of operatives from DOLI, POA, and law enforcement agencies are sufficient to prosecute. So, mga affidavit lang ng mga ng mga tao from DOLI, POA, and the law enforcement agency is sufficient enough to prosecute a case against employer na nagkakasala in violation of RA 122. Prosecution. Public prosecutors of the Department of Justice collaborate with POA's anti-illegal recruitment branch, allowing POA lawyers to lead in certain cases and receive additional allowances. So pinangungunahan na pa rin ng public prosecutor. Siyempre in collaboration with the legal recruitment branch ng POA. Non-prejudice. Filing a case under this act is without prejudice to cases under other existing. Section 6. Sa penalties na tayo. Illegal recruitment. In general term, imprisonment. Not less than 12 years and 1 day, but not more than 20 years. Para din ano eh. Kung maximum yung makukuha mo, it's reclusion perpetua din to, 20 years. And a fine of not less than 1 million pesos and nor more than 2 million pesos. Malaki-laki rin para sa illegal recruitment. Illegal recruitment constituting economic sabotage. Penalty of life imprisonment, patay na. Fine, not less than 2 million pesos, not more than 5 million pesos. Malaki. Aggravating circumstances. The maximum penalty shall be imposed if the illegally recruited person is less than 18 years of age or if the offense is committed by a non-licensee or non. So, aggravating circumstances, maximum na yan. It could be life imprisonment or 20 years. Pag ang pinadala mo dun, under 18 years of age pa. Kaya bawal ang, you have to make sure, or the recruitment agency has to make sure na 18 years old na yung pinapadala nila dun for work. Prohibited acts. Imprisonment not less than 6 years and 1 day but not more than 12 years. Yung kaninang mga binigkas natin na mga prohibited acts, not the illegal recruitment but just the prohibited acts. Pag napatunayan ka doon or ang tao doon, maximum of 12 years but not less than 6 years. Also, you may be fined 500,000, not more than not more than 1 million. Also, foreigners are, if found guilty, in addition to penalties, shall be deported without further proceedings. So, pag guilty ka na, tapon ka na kaagad if you are an alien or a foreigner. Automatic revocation. Ito din. Conviction for any of these offenses shall cause or and carry the automatic revocation of license or registration of recruitment or manning agency, lending institution, training schools, or medical clinic. So if all of this or one of these is involved in these prohibited acts, tanggal lahat ng lisensya nyo. Pupunin. Section 7, money claims. Jurisdiction of money claims falls under the labor arbiters of the National Labor Relations Commission, NLRC. They have the original and exclusive jurisdiction to hear and decide claims arising from employer-employee relationship or law or contract involving overseas Filipino workers, including damages. Decision time frame within 90 calendar days from the complaint filing. So 90, that's 3 months. Matagal-tagal din, ano? For a case against an employer, within 90 days, hindi dapat lalagpas ng 90 days, may decision ng labor arbiter. The liability of employer is joint and several. They are jointly and severally liable for all claims. Employer and the recruitment or place, at least mag-share sila. Hindi masyadong masakit yung, magkano yun, 1 million, 2 million? Tig 1 million sa kanila. Paano kung 10 employee yung naloko nila? 10 million, ang sakit nun. This provision must be incorporated in overseas employment contracts as a condition precedent for approval. The recruitment placement agency's performance bond is answerable for money claims damages. For juridical entities, corporation officers, directors, and partners are jointly and solidarily liable. Continuity of liability. Such liabilities continue for the entire duration of the employment contract and are unaffected by local or foreign substitutions, amendments, or modifications. Settlement payment. Compromise, amicable settlements on money claims must be paid within 30 days from approval. So isang buwan lang ang kailangan makapagbayad na uh, ang employer under a compromise or amicable settlement. Worker entitlements, premature termination, or unauthorized deductions. If overseas employment is terminated without just, valid, or unauthorized cause, or due to an authorized salary deduction, the worker is entitled to full reimbursement of placement fee and deductions made with interest at 12% per annum. So, ibabalik yung placement fee mo pag tinanggal ka nang wala pa sa tamang oras o walang tamang rason. Salaries for the unexpired portion of the employment contract, or 3 months for every year of the unexpired terms, whichever is less. Foreign employer principal non-compliance, automatic disqualification from the Philippine Overseas Employment Program and recruitment Filipino workers until judgment award is fully satisfied. Penalties for officials, non-compliance with mandatory resolution periods for cases subject responsible officials to withholding of salary until compliance, suspension for not more than 90 days, dismissal from service with disqualification to hold public office for 5 years. These penalties are without prejudice to the other liabilities under existing. So pag napatunayan kang may sala as an official, una, pwede kang hindi muna pasahuran until makakomply ka sa mga hinihingi na ng labor arbiter, or you can be suspended for not more than 3 months or dismissal from service. Tapos 5 years kang hindi pwedeng mag-apply ulit sa public office. Section 8, free legal assistance. Establishment. A mechanism for free legal assistance for victims of illegal recruitment shall be established within anti-legal recruitment branch of the POA, including its regional offices. Ang POA may branch yan for anti-illegal recruitment, and it shall be for the victims of illegal recruitment. Pero yan na ma-avail ng mga biktima ng illegal recruitment. This mechanism shall involve coordination and cooperation with the Department of Justice, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, and other non-governmental organizations and volunteers. Section 9, mandatory repatriation of underage migrant workers. Upon discovery of being informed of migrant workers below the minimum age for overseas deployment, responsible foreign service officers shall repatriate said workers without delay. So kaagad-agad pag nalaman na may nagtatrabaho na migrant worker below 18 years of age, kailangan ma-deploy ka agad ng foreign service officers or yung ating mga opisina sa ibang bansa to repatriate without delay. The Department of Foreign Affairs must be advised of such discovery and relevant information through the fastest means. Report ka agad from the DFA. Tapos kailangan malaman din siguro ng to all concerned, parents, the employer, of course the employee na ibabalik na siya, and also the Philippine government must know. Penalties for agencies. The license of a recruitment and manning agency that recruited or deployed an underage migrant worker shall be automatically revoked. So wala nang kaso-kaso pag nalaman ka agad na napatunayan na nag-deploy ka o nag-recruit ka ng underage migrant workers. Madali lang naman mapatunayan. Have to check with the PSA or sa local civil register kung 18 ba na pinadala mo. Baka 18 pagdating dun sa site ng job niya, 18 na siya. Pero when processing here, hindi pa 18 yung pinalabas mo, 17 pa lang. It's still the same. Automatically revoked. A fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 1 million shall be imposed. Babayad pa si recruitment agency ng 1 million or 500,000, whichever. Is the court decide. All fees pertinent to processing papers documents shall be refunded in full by the responsible agency to the underage. Lahat ng binayaran niya, pang passport, pang xerox ng mga dokumento, pang babayad sa mga government documents, babayaran din yan ng recruitment agency once may kasalanan sa pagpapadala ng underage na migrant workers. The refund is independent and in addition to indemnification for damages sustained by the underage migrant workers. So iba pa to. This mentioned the pertinent processing papers refunds is independent and separate from indemnification for damages. Pag nagkaso ka na sa civil cases, iba pa ang ibang payment pa ang refund, iba lang yung damages. The refund must be paid within 30 days from the date of mandatory repatriation. Bayaran mo within 30 days. Ay, nasa na ako. Section 10, Establishment of National Reintegration Center for OFWs. NRCO, a National Reintegration Center for Overseas Filipino Workers is hereby created within the Department of Labor. So DOLE ang gumagawa ng NRCO. Ano yung National Reintegration Center? This provides a mechanism for the integration of returning Filipino migrant workers into Philippine society. Siyempre, tatanggapin ulit natin sila bilang Pilipino sila. Ansanghero nga ang tawag sa kanila. Yung sa billion-billion kasi ang ilang tax remittance dito sa atin, yung ating mga kapatid na OFWs. Hello, pasensya na po na namatay yung ano ko. Hello, nandiyan pa po kayo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
actually,
hindi.
ah, pasensya na, namatay yung, nawalan ako ng internet. Nasaan ba tayo? Section 10, Establishment of National Reintegration Center. Kaya sinasabi ko kanina, ah, para sa nagkakaproblema sa ibang bansa, may it be due to the fault of employers or recruitment agencies, sinasalo sila ng Pilipinas sa pamagitan ng ating NRCO or National Reintegration Center for Overseas Filipino Workers. This one's created by the DOLE. At yun nga, ang purpose nito basically is to reintegrate our workers dito sa Philippine society. Uh, at isa din sa mga purpose is to tap their skills and potentials for national development. Gagamitin ulit natin sila, parang masama yung term na gagamitin. uh, Paano ba? I-rehire natin sila, yung kakayahan nila, their skills and potentials. Basically, dito na sa Pilipinas, kung gusto na nila o kung ayaw na nila bumalik sa ibang bansa, they will be absorbed sa Pilipinas as a worker here for our national development. Within 90 days of the Act's effectivity, DOLE, the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or OWA and the POAA shall formulate a program to motivate migrant workers for productive options like highly technical jobs, livelihood, entrepreneurial development, better wage employment, and investment of savings. Priority to returnees. The Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, Technology Livelihood Resources Center, TLRC, and other government agencies involved in training livelihood development shall give priority to returnees who had been employed as a domestic helper and entertainers. So yeah, pag umuwi sila dito, basically may nasa priority list na sila sa TESDA or sa TLRC for retraining or yun nga, para sa main objective natin for the reintegration of these overseas Filipino workers to our society. And section 11, functions of the National Reintegration Center for OFWs. Yung ino-offer ng NRCO is to provide the following services. Develop and support programs, projects for livelihood, entrepreneurship, savings, investments, and financial literacy for returning OFWs and their families. Ito, pinapahalagan dito yung karamihan sa pinapahalagahan dito yung ating capacity for livelihood. Pag sa mga OFWs, tinuturo sa kanila financial literacy kasi nga yung iba hindi masyadong makapag-punda or paano invest para sa future nila, no? So pinapahalagahan talaga ng government yung financial literacy for our OFWs. Coordinate with stakeholders for the promotion, development, and full utilization of overseas returnees potentials. So ang mga OFWs check yung ano yung mga skills nila while they are working or they were working out of the country. And then i-coordinate yan with other stakeholders para sa reintegration and development at nang magamit muli nila yung mga skills nila. Institute a computer-based information system on returning OFWs accessible to all local recruitment agencies and employers, public and private. So, gagawa din si NRCO ng information, computer-based information para pwede na mag-online si OFW para makakita or makita din sila ng local recruitment agencies and employers. Who among them who has returned or have returned to the Philippines can be pulled out based on the need of a certain recruitment or employers. Provide periodic study and assessment of job opportunities for returning OFWs. Yan nga, bibigyan din sila ng na i-assist din yung kakayahan nila. They will be reintroduced back to pool of job opportunities. Develop and implement other appropriate programs to promote the welfare of returning OFWs. Maintain an internet-based communication system for online registration and interaction with client and upgrade computer-based service capabilities. Develop capacity building programs for returning OFWs and their families, implement their service providers and stakeholders, and conduct research for policy recommendations and programs. Lahat ng ito nasa National Integration Center for OFWs para sa yun nga sa main goal ng POA or ng DOLE to reintegrate back to the workforce sa Pilipino ang ating mga OFWs na bumalik na from their work abroad. That was my last section to report. Siguro, let's just, if you have questions, let's just consolidate our question with after Ma'am Mabit finished his or her report para isang tanungan lang. Kung okay lang po. Or kung may tanong kayo ngayon, I can entertain them too. Ma'am Mabit,
Hello, sir.
are you going to proceed or
Okay,
mamaya na lang?
later na lang siguro ang questions.
Sige. Attorney, that would be my report.
Okay,
To
thank
proceed
you.
with the Republic Act 122.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Father.
So, hello everyone. Let me just share my screen first. Do you see my screen po?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Okay, sige. So, before I proceed, so makikita man niyo ano. So, may ada ako, hello OFW or OFW Modern Day Hero. So, actually, this is the continuation of Republic Act 122. So, before I proceed, let's just have an icebreaker. Okay, I know this is a holy hour. Damot manihinga toro baat. So, if I mention your name, if I say hello, iti baton OFW. Tapos, kung sa nga nakliwat ng OFW, iti baton modern day hero. Okay? Sige. Let's start from Sir Romel. Sir Romel, can you please unmute yourself? Bakit nangangator
O-
na ka mo?
OFW. Hello.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. So if I say hello, your response is OFW.
OFW.
Oo. And if
Yeah.
I say OFW, your response is modern day hero. Hello, Sir
Okay.
Romel.
OFW,
OFW?
modern day hero.
Okay, thank you, Sir Romel. So next, Sir June.
Yes, ma'am. Good
Sir
afternoon.
June. Good afternoon. Hello, Sir June.
OFW,
OFW?
modern day hero.
Thank you. Sige, next. Wala kikita takuan. Sir Linus, can you please call the next person? Please unmute anay, Sir Linus. You call the next
Sorry.
person po.
Hello,
Okay po. Hello.
hello, ma'am.
Ore kasi kikitahan name sa akong screen.
Ma'am Athena, hello.
Hello, Sir Linus. OFW,
OFW.
OFW.
modern day hero.
Thank you, Ma'am
Thank you, Ma'am
Athena.
Athena.
Sunod,
Okay.
ubos sa tahira kayo ba'y nakaturog na?
Konnichiwa. Nakatulog na si Sir Anthony. Good night.
Hello.
Hello, Anthony.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Thank you. Sunod.
Nag-
Let's call
Teka lang, nagahang.
Ate Annie Rose. Ate Rose Ann.
Hello,
Hello, ate.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Very good. So let's proceed to Ma'am Mika. Hello, Ma'am Mika.
OFW,
OFW.
our modern day hero. Yahoo!
Thank you. How about Sir Nerio? Sir Nerio?
Hello, Mabait and Linos. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, sir. Hello, sir.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Thank you, sir. Pwede kita kan Ma'am Merla.
Hello,
Hello, Ma'am Merla.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Yes. And Sir Efren. Sir Efren.
Hello, Mabet.
Hello, Sir Efren.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Yes, very good. Pwede kita kan Sir Sandos. Man, nagka-open at mga video. Asya man. Sir Sandos, hello.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Yes, thank you. Pwede kita kan Sir Russell. Hello, Sir Russell.
Unmute tayo.
Hello, sorry, nakamute.
Okay, sige. Hello.
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 Okay na?
Yes.
Yan ako?
Yes, you are here. Hello, Sir Russell.
Sige. Hello,
Hello.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Yes, very good. Hinapanwaray. Ni
Okay.
John Mark. Thank you. John Mark.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Hello, Sir John Mark. Good afternoon. Hello.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Yes. Yan kan Ma'am Apple. Ma'am Apple.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Yes, ngan. Kan Sir Nestor. Hello, Sir Nestor. Hello.
OFW,
OFW.
modern day hero.
Yes, very good. Thank you. May nagpawari ka. tawag. Nada. So thank you everyone for participating. So that was a uh, icebreaker. So let's proceed to the main topic. So this is the continuation of Sir Linus report, which is the Republic Act number 122. So I will continue discussing Section 12 of Republic 92. So Section 12, this amends Section 19 of Republic Act number 8042. So Section 19 provides for the establishment of migrant workers and other overseas Filipinos Resources Center. So, the key functions and services of the Resource Center are first, the counseling and legal services. This service provides for the psychological support and free legal advice or representation to distressed migrant workers.
W, mabit. Mabit.
Hello.
Nawara din signal.
Aba, amin.